I didn't have a big mouth. And I am going to talk with my mask on because this is the longest I've been indoors since COVID started. And I'm just wearing my mask because I choose to wear my mask because I want to be safe and I miss people and I want to stay being able to be with people. So I'm wearing my mask and hopefully all of you can hear me. That's who I am. I'll talk about that more in a minute. Before we do anything, I want to ask Mary to come up for a minute. Mary Rose. Mary, where are you?
Right here.
Okay, there you are, Mary. You're so short, I couldn't see you. She's shorter than I am. You know, yes, I'm going to give you something. I've known Mary Rose longer than I knew John Dingell. Is that not true? You knew me when I was a teenage Republican.
Yes.
So that's how far Mary and I go back. Randy Fritz is over there going, what? You know, when I married John Dingell, I was a militant Republican. I'm a Dingell Democrat, and you tell me what's the difference. I gotta turn my phone off, I'm sorry, I turned it on last night so I'd hear it as the phone rang. I want to pay a special tribute to her. And by the way, she is someone I have worked with my entire life. And I think we need far fewer labels. And the label I'm proud of and the one I wear is I'm an American. And that's the label I wear every single day. Mary, so I met her as a Republican activist, but she has been the heart and the soul of the Downriver Chamber. I just don't think, Ron, the stupidest thing you ever could have done is to let her go, because I can't. She called us all, I mean, you know I say that with love. She's the nag, she keeps us organized, she's always a voice for the Downrivers. And I spoke about you on the floor of the House of Representatives. And this is the speech that I gave on the floor of the House. Mary, we love you. You have been, oh here, Jim wants us this way. You've made a difference for the quality, oh here, hang on, let me do the picture. You know, all of us have someone that's glue in our lives, keeps things going. We wouldn't get done, we wouldn't be effective, we wouldn't make a difference if we didn't have a Mary in our lives. And Mary, all of us want to say thank you for what you've done for everybody in the Downrivers. And you aren't going anywhere, and you're in our hearts and souls forever. We love you, Mary. Thank you. Have a careful one down the stairs. I love you, Mary. Really did know me longer than John. And I know none of these young people knew I was once a Republican. Someday we'll have a philosophical discussion about labels and what they mean, but we're not going to do it today. I want to thank you, Ron, for the good work that you do every day with the Chamber. And this is a tradition. You know, traditions, rituals and traditions keep us together. And even through COVID, this kickoff speech for the year, I've been doing for 7 years. Is that how long I've been in office? 7 years. And John Dingell did it
Forever.
I don't know, Greg can maybe tell us, or Randy, how many years. So it's an important tradition for me to be home in the Downrivers, which quite frankly will always be where I married John Dingell, where my roots are, and you're my family. So it's an important speech. Mark, thank you for chairing the Chamber of Commerce. Your board role is so important, and Marika's a girlfriend who, thank you for that kind introduction, and she lives in part of my new district, and she's going to teach me all about that, and just thank you for all that. And everybody at the head table's a friend. You know, I'm going to this speech is going to end up being a lot from my heart and not from notes. Everybody's been talking about redistricting this morning and what's going to happen and what's going to change. And I'm not happy, but I believe the people of Michigan spoke in that they elected a nonpartisan commission to redistrict the congressional and state legislative districts. And they wanted it to be non-political. So we had a commission, it did its work. I stayed totally away from it and hands off because as an elected official, I shouldn't have anything to do with it. But a lot of you cared and were involved. And one of the reasons you cared is that in the last 3 decades, we have seen the downrivers torn apart. We have seen 3 congressional members represent them. At one point, I guess John always had a city or 2. There were members that, quite frankly, didn't know how to find the downrivers. And I don't need to be that blunt. And there's a lot of things going on right now, which I'm going to talk about downriver. And you want somebody that's going to care and know that you're there. Well, I'm going to make a couple of commitments to you right now. You know, I was on the phone on Friday with Rob Dissane, the mayor of Wyandotte, and Andy Swift, the mayor of Riverview. And we're talking about the Arkema site. Well, you know what? That site in the water doesn't know it's in the 13th district, the 6th district, and it's not going to be cleaned up because a lot of people, you've got these fault lines that nobody knows. It's going to get cleaned up because we've got a lot of people who care, are going to roll up their sleeves. And I promise you, whoever is the member of Congress from the 13th district is going to partner with me. I'm going to tell them what they got to do to help support it, and we'll do it together. I have talked to many people. I have no idea. So most of you have looked at the map. At least there's only 2 members downriver at this time versus 3. And you know, Wyandotte, Southgate, Taylor, Allen Park, Lincoln Park, Ecorse, River Rouge. Ecorse and River Rouge were in the 13th already. They're all part of us. And I have said, I'm not going to endorse in this race, I will tell you that right now. I'll tell you there's somebody that's going to spend $5 million in this race and has probably never walked downriver or understands a single thing about who the downrivers are. It's not a political statement, it's just a fact. And there are going to be lots of other candidates. We need to make sure that when we know who all the candidates are and this race begins, the downrivers are 27% of the 13th district. You are a determining factor. You matter. So you're going to have candidate forums. I'm going to help you organize them. You're going to get the candidates down. That's what I did when I organized the presidential debate and said, we're going to get candidates to come to Michigan and talk about our issues. It's time that we matter in presidential elections. And by the way, did we or did we not? When I said Donald Trump could win and you all thought I was crazy. But, so that's what we're going to do. So, and I promise you, I will work with whoever gets elected. It's a partnership. I respect all of my colleagues. You know, and nobody can take me out of the downrivers. You can't take a Dingell out of the downrivers. It's our home. You're our friends. You're our family. And I still have much of the downrivers. God willing, you'll re-elect me, and we've got a lot of work to do. So that's what I want to say. I'm going to work with all the elected officials. We're going to have some interesting state legislative seats, and you know, you got to. I'm looking at Randy. Randy will get mad at me. He'll pick up the phone and say, well, how the hell are you screwing up? I want you to do that with me. I need your input. And I'm going to work every day for all of you, and I'm going to make sure whoever the new person is going to do the same thing. And I'm going to make sure they'll meet Randy, so Randy will call that person and say the same thing to him. Why the hell are you screwing up? But having said that, let me talk more about some of the things I wanted to talk to you about today. I do believe that the community here in the downriver area is strong. We take care of one another. We speak up when something's not right. We get to the roots of problems. We figure out what needs to be done, and we fix them. And the best part about the downriverers is we watch out for each other. We have each other's backs. We are family. And we got to work really hard to make sure that we are not divided with the fear and the hatred and the anxiety we are seeing in other places in this country. I know this year has been tough. These last 2 years have been tough, and I mean really, really tough. The pandemic continues to test us every single day. It's not easy to stay apart. This is me. I'm a hugger. You all know I'm a hugger. I'm a people person. I'm the person that goes to 12 or 13-day events a day. And I'm home alone, missing John, miss him every day. The anniversary of his death is coming up. So I know how hard COVID is, and I don't want to get it. I do not want to get COVID. I don't want to worry about long haul. I don't want to lose my smell or taste. And, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to COVID. I was talking to a doctor yesterday. You have patients with underlying conditions who don't get sick. People have nothing and get really sick. COVID is just, it hangs over all of our lives. I don't know how it's become such a divisive issue for all of us. It should not divide us the way it does. I wish facts worked. We do know. Look, I'm going to tell you, many people in this room know me and know how afraid of shots and medicine I am. I didn't want to get that COVID vaccine. Back, I don't want to say how long ago it was. I was young. I'm not old, but I'm seasoned. I got a swine flu shot, and I got paralyzed. I got Guillain-Barré. I really know the consequences of what can happen when something goes bad. And I was afraid. I mean, I waited. I did not race to get my shot when all of my other colleagues got them. It took me a while. But I had 10 different doctors who told me to stop talking about it. I was trying to just be real and tell people I understood fear, because I think, you know, it helps to admit that you've got it. I spent times with 10 different doctors, head of immunology at Michigan. I went and got my first shot, prepared to die. Well, I didn't. I'm here with all of you. Got my second shot, and boy, when those boosters became available, I was, when can I get it? First in line. They are, and it lets me be here with all of you. I'm wearing my mask, but a year ago, I wasn't vaccinated a year ago right now, actually. And I couldn't have been with you in this room. And a lot of people have been vaccinated, and there haven't been the kind of side effects that everybody's worried about. And if you're boosted, you're vaccinated and boosted, yeah, the reality is people are getting breakthrough cases, but they're not on ventilators in the ICU. They're not in hospitals. I hate this disease, and it's not going to go away. We don't know that much about it. 2 years ago, I'm not so sure I didn't have COVID. Some of you will remember I had 103, around you do, because I had 103 temperature for 3 weeks in the Thanksgiving time before everybody heard about COVID. You know, and when this first started, they were watching people in some airports coming in from China, but not Detroit Metro. And all the auto plants are near Xi'an, where this all came from. And I'm like writing in January saying, why aren't we screening people in Detroit, Metro Detroit? Or from, not Xi'an, from Wuhan. And, you know, people in Washington say to me, my colleagues, Frank Plone, Chair of Energy and Commerce, would say, COVID, 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 that's all you talk about is COVID. Well, I wish we could have gotten ahead of it. We still don't know everything there is to know about it. It's coloring our lives. It just hangs there. We're done. We're sick of it. We want it out of our lives, and we want to go back to life as normal, whatever that normal is. It's true how people feel. But it's not done with us. So I'll talk to anybody about fear of vaccines because I get it. I wish people would wear masks because we know it works. but I don't scream and lecture people. I ask you to think about it. And anybody who hasn't gotten their vaccination, I'll go with you, because I know how scared you are. But COVID's not going away. I mean, I'm ready for my 4th booster. I don't know about anybody else, and I wish the president would start talking about it so we can get it there. But they're being good, and you know, now, by the way, and it's on our website, tests are being mailed to homes. And everybody I haven't had anybody complain to me, unusual, about anything related to the federal government, that they ordered their tests, and I had people over the weekend tell me they had gotten their tests. We're trying to get more KN95 masks out to people so they can have access to them, especially people that can't afford them. So COVID's just there. That's a reality for all of us, and we're going to have to deal with it longer than we want to. But we can do it smartly, working together. We got to stop letting it divide us. We got to work together to minimize its impact on our communities and let us be communities again, not keep it constantly isolating, angering, making people fearful. And there are some good things that have happened this past year. We did get the recovery funds, and that's bringing money into every city and town across the country to use for different things. And all the downriver communities are getting money. I worked very hard on that. County also has money. Some of the mayors will tell you, I love the county. I do love the county. But I also will always fight for the cities and make sure that they're being taken care of as things are being considered. And we've got money, finally, to fix the damn roads. We're going to fix our bridges. So we've gotten money so that we can get the lead. We in Michigan know what lead in pipes means. We're going to get enough money. We've got $1.5 billion coming. I think we need $1.65 to do all of it. That money's in the Build Back Better bill that I'll talk about in a minute. And I'm working with all of the cities to figure out where the lead is that we've got to get out and to get it out. And then we suddenly learned about, you know, how we don't have, I love Comcast now, but we don't have, and I want to say this about Comcast. There were a lot of kids that were suddenly learning at home, didn't have access to high-speed broadband, were paying a price, and Comcast did work with schools to try to help those that did need. So we make sure that our kids have equal access and opportunity on education. But we need to do it so that every household in America has access to affordable high-speed internet. That's coming because of the infrastructure bill that we passed. So hopefully we're going to fill some of the potholes. You know, I've been to 3 bridge celebrations just downriver. I know some of you thought that Roseville Bridge would never get fixed or reopened. I probably shouldn't tell you the story, but I will. Somebody was blaming me, or my name was being thrown around when I was in the hospital for a perforated ulcer, which did come from drinking I'm trying to reduce it, not from drinking Diet Coke, it didn't come, but from taking Motrin. And I picked up the phone and called the head of the Corps of Engineers and said, Debbie Dingell, and I've been in one hospital room for 5 days, allowed to go nowhere. Do you know how much pent-up energy I have right now? You and I are going to figure out why the hell these permits aren't issued, and we're going to get it done today. And I will not leave you alone or be off your, I won't say the word I used, until we do. We found out where the 2 holes were. Can you believe it? We got it done, and we announced that day the permits were done, and we moved ahead. And that's what we got to do. We got to work together. And Gibraltar has fixed some bridges, and there's lots more work to be done. And one of the things as we talk about this is we got to work together. You know, we've also, I told you this speech was going to be totally off my head, so I'm going to try not to ramble too long, Ron. But, you know, we had the flood. The floods were really bad in parts of the district, Dearborn, my hometown, being one of them. We had to build up resiliency. You know, when we see the kind of rains we do, those rains don't know where city limit is between Dearborn and Detroit, or Allen Park and Lincoln Park, or Taylor. Ecorse Creek is in, you know, runs through all of these places. And we've got to build up resiliency, we've got to bring change, but we're not going to do it city by city. We have to do it as a region. And it has never been more critical for us to work together as a region. Grosio wants to build another bridge. Well, we got to build that regional partnership. We got to be with SEMCOG. We got to be with the DCC. We got to talk to the state. And we got to go build the business case. And there's lots of other work that needs to be done in this area. I'm working at the DCC with the mayors and SEMCOG, making sure that we're identifying those, and then we're going to strategize and put a plan together that makes sure this area gets the money they need. And we do that by working together. And that's why the downriver as one community matters. And then you put ourselves into the Southeast Michigan community, and the commissioners and the mayors are going to be so important to that. And I'll tell you something. I've talked to the White House and I've talked to the state. I'll just be very blunt. I'm going to be a pain in the ass. As we're bringing this money in, say, take the lead money. I want to know so there is a study, I don't know if all of you know this, the mayors do, because they have to do it in each of the communities, to identify where the lead is in the pipes. I want to know what the criteria is. I'm proud that I'm the one that got that money in the Energy and Commerce Committee bill to be part of that infrastructure bill, and on the water affordability and shutting off water. That Lewis will tell you this, Rashida and I. Yes, Rashida can do good work. I know some of you, but she's been very focused on this in helping people, and trust me, when Rashida and Debbie are on the same, focused on the same thing, you do not want to mess with us. There was actually a day that Rashida was pulling me back because I wanted to kill the White House over some water issues in Wayne County. She's like, Debbie, calm down, don't do it, don't do it. But we need to, but I want to know what the criteria is that's going to determine where the money's going to be spent, how it's going to get allocated, what's going to be the priority, who's going to get it, the city, the county, the township, and then who's going to contract it, do we have the contractors, and how are we going to get the work done? We cannot, at this federal level, we still have dollars sitting in the state legislature that we send into the state for the American Recovery Plan. When people are struggling to get tests, there are a whole lot of things I'm hearing about. Restaurants that need help. There's a whole list of things that money was intended for, and the legislature's not authorizing it. Not okay. We need to help people that need that help. And that's what I'm very focused on doing. So I'm going to I told you I could talk a long time. So let me just mention a couple of other subjects. As you can tell, I'm pretty passionate about those others. But it's more important than ever we work together on economic development downriver. And at the same time, protect our natural resources. I'm committed to working with every one of you, this administration, the state, and the county, to achieve this. And let's look at our successes. McLeod Steel. Did you ever think you'd see it come down? Well, it's down. And it's been a top priority. We work closely with the city of Trenton. I'm not telling you there weren't some intense moments, but EGLE and the EPA to secure a cleanup agreement and also get the site on the national priority list, half of that site, so that it's a Superfund site, which, by the way, in the infrastructure bill, we put more money into so we can accelerate the cleanup of some of those sites. And it's when I got elected and started asking questions, that McLeod site was seeping into the water, it was seeping into the air, and people knew it. So now we're getting a clean of toxins, and we need to, as a community, talk about what's going to happen there next. And there is still a Superfund site part that's got to be cleaned up, but we're monitoring it every day. We know DTE is going to close. We have 2 plants that are DTE plants that are going to close downriver. I'm focused on Trenton, but the Rouge plant is going to close too. We need to come together, figure out what's going to happen. First of all, it's going to be a loss of tax base. That's a reality. That's one of the things that everybody needs to think about. We want to keep the river, we want to clean up the riverfront, and we want to keep it that way. And by the way, I really hope people, I'm so sick of rumors about what's going to happen by people that have no idea what they're talking about, love to stir people up, and don't sit in a room and really take the time to be part of what the positive solution is going to be. I'm just going to say that. But, we're going to lose DTE, Solution is closed, We've lost some further big properties. We want those sites cleaned up. We got to make sure they're cleaned up. And DTE is very committed to leaving that site in good shape, but now I'm working with the Downriver Community Conference, the Department of Commerce, University of Michigan, the mayors about what's next. And, you know, what are they going to do? How are they going to sell it? Everybody needs to be part of that. We're going to be holding town meetings and doing more. We talked about Arkema. I talked about it earlier. I met with the mayors on Friday. And that site's been vacant for decades. It's got a plan to get it cleaned up. The EPA's got to get it approved, and we got to get it done. And then we got to figure out what are we going to do with it. What do we want our riverfront to be? We all need to do that visioning. But remember, we got to have resources to pay for what some of us want to do. So how do we combine both of those? I'm working, there's going to be a hearing. I've got it on my Facebook page with EPA, Friends of the Detroit River, and others talking about what's happening down around Gozeel and Trenton on the channel down there and the dredging project and how we're going to finish cleaning that up. And, you know, we're also focused on Ecorse Creek. I'm not going to have Dearborn anymore, but I'm not going to weigh on Ecorse Creek. We are pushing I will tell, actually the President of the United States knows about Ecorse Creek because I went on a rant about it one day. But we need to, it's just sitting there. It needs to be, you know, so we're going to make sure that we do all of this. Then I want to tell you there are great volunteers who are focused on connecting Southeast Michigan and all of the waterfront trail opportunities. I'm working with the Community Foundation and the Great Lakes Way Project to connect stretches of Blueway from Port Huron all the way down to Monroe. That riverfront connects us. There's so many opportunities, and there are people that have been, you know, Wendy from City Council in Trenton has been working and pulling people together, Mary Bolin, Anita. We've had a group of people. We've got a third of it's already been paid for in this visioning by the Wilson Foundation. Trenton became a pure Michigan trail town. The Wildlife Refuge is open. It's a great place to walk. The Secretary of Interior is going to come this spring to officially open the Visitor Center. But we have a lot of work to do. This is a place for all of us to preserve, to go, to fish, to walk those trails, to appreciate our beauty, enhance our life. But it's also an economic driver. We do this right. We keep developing this. And it's good for all of us in so many different ways, and that's how we got to think. And I don't care how they redistrict downriver. I am going to stay right in the middle of this, working my butt off with everybody else to continue to make downrivers thrive on all of these activities. So, you know, and we've also got the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative. I'm really proud. This is going to sound corny, especially because it looks a little warm out there. We got an ice cutter. I mean, that was a big deal. We got an ice cutter for the Great Lakes. We got to keep cleaning it up and making sure that, you know, we can fix there. So these are priorities. Other things, God, I feel like I need to stop talking, Ron. You know, we're focused on keeping the area strong. I want electric vehicles. We're transitioning. The auto industry is in a transition time. We need to be part of it. I'm working really hard. Nancy wanted to probably kill me last week. I know you're not supposed to use those words anymore, but pushing hard to get the CHIPS bill passed, bring semiconductor production back to the U.S. That's why our plants are closed. That's why Flat Rock was closed. And bring our supply chain back to this country. The pandemic shined a light. People didn't understand how we had shipped our supply chain overseas. We got to do that. We got to bring it home and have good paying American jobs. And it's a national security issue. It is a national security issue. And I'll tell you what happened at Flat Rock with the chemical spill was not okay. I lived down there for a month, which several of you know, trying to help them. And you got to hold people accountable when something like that happens. And you need to make sure that it has been cleaned up. But I want to make sure that, you know, downrivers are part of all of this. We stay an integral part of the auto industry. Because we are the backbone of the American economy. Working on water, as I've said, cleaning up PFAS. We've had some PFAS scares in this area. And by the way, in this district, we know there's a minimum of 10,000 existing lead service lines with another likely 11,000. So we got to worry about that. No amount of lead in drinking water is safe, and we're going to address that. So I don't know. I think I've probably talked enough. I could talk about, I told you this is going to mostly be from my heart. My staff hates it when I'm in a crowd that I love, and I just have many things on my mind. We got to stick together. I want to close with, I'm really worried some days when I see the fear and the hate that are in places. I think social media is one of the worst things that happened to this country. It didn't bring us together. It gives people a license to say some of the worst, filthiest, bullying things, and it's not good. I'm worried about our democracy. None of us can take it for granted. Community is the strength of democracy. We gotta have more kindness. We have to have more empathy, more compassion for each other. Be there to help each other. And I guess one other comment I want to make is I'm worried about public safety. We have great law enforcement downriver. Our police chiefs and the men and women that work with them want to keep you safe every day. They're tired. They're being recruited by other people who can pay more. They don't get thanked as much as we need to. All the frontline workers. You know, this week I'm gonna go to Michigan, Henry Ford, and hopefully Beaumont, and I'm very proud of the fact that I've been working really hard. I do COVID every day. I try not to be part of why are we all fighting and be part of what are the solutions. Our hospitals, our nurses, our doctors are exhausted. They're stretched. We have 5 defense teams in the state. 2 of them are here. One is in Beaumont, Dearborn. One is in Henry Ford, Wyandotte. Henry Ford, Wyandotte almost closed. One of their nurses committed suicide. He was so exhausted in April. I talked to him. We need to thank them. We have no idea how many good people are working so hard to keep us safe. Instead of fighting each other the way we are, we should be fighting to help those people that are helping ourselves and supporting each other. And remember, united we're strong, divided we fail. I'm for united we stand, divided we fall. So I love you all. I'm never leaving the downrivers. You all are my friends. There's so much work to do, and we're going to keep doing it. Thank you.